to the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast with your hosts, Eric Lee and Lorenzo Ice-T.
What's going on? How's the sound?
We got an intro. We got an intro.
What's up, Lo?
I'm doing good. How am I? Oh, man, my camera look a little crooked here. Let me straighten my camera out a little bit here.
All right. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the Dirty South Fantasy Football League Podcast. Yours truly, Eric Lee, along with
Lorenzo Ice-T to the Thomas.
What's going on, man? It's what, second week in the NFL?
That's right, man.
Oh, it's gonna be. It was crazy over the weekend, and we get a chance to talk about a little bit about the NFL as well as some fantasy information, some fantasy news. We've got a good brother coming on a little late on in the program. He said he was going to be there after I beat him up in fantasy over the weekend. I want to make sure he stays true to his word.
Right. Right, without a doubt.
Without the weekend.
Who, me?
Yeah,
I did. I won in one league, in our league, and I lost in another league by a nail biter. Lost by, actually won by about 4 points and lost by 4 points. So. Okay. But I have to say thank you to Tyreek Hill because he helped me win in our league. And last night I had Stephon Diggs, which helped me close the gap. However, the guy I was playing against had Josh Allen. So, I was actually catching up because Josh kept throwing touchdowns to Stephon Diggs. But so basically I'm in two leagues. I'm 2-0 in one and 1-1 on the other. But the other one, I lead the league in scoring. So I'm doing pretty well there.
All right, good stuff. I'm in 4 leagues. 1-3, lost in 1, undefeated, and of course our dynasty and undefeated in a redraft. And I'm defeated in 1, meaning I ain't won 1 game yet. So, it's all good in 1-1 in another league. So It's all good. It's all good. So we get a chance to talk about what's going on in NFL. First, man, let's start with, something close to your heart. Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, you talking about my Miami Dolphins?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about
and one of the biggest comebacks in NFL history, down 21 points in the fourth quarter.
Absolutely.
and just putting it on the Baltimore Ravens. And in fact, you know that I lived up in the mid-Atlantic region of the country. So I actually was a Baltimore Ravens season ticket holder for 2 years when I lived up that way, back when Ray Lewis was a rookie. So, so I know quite a few of those Baltimore Raven fans, and they may just happen to see us on streaming on Facebook or Twitter right about now. And I have not heard from any of them.
None of them?
No, not one Baltimore Raven fan.
Go ahead on Lorenzo's up here. Go ahead, drop something in the chat just in case you want to say something to him.
Yeah.
I'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the Ravens, basically, I think that's the first time we've won up there in Baltimore since they moved to the new stadium. So, and they don't lose their home openers. They are pretty dominant. They have a dominant record at home under John Harbaugh. So they do extremely well there. And to be able to go there and get that victory the way that we did it is basically sending a message to an NFL, to the entire NFL, that, when you play them, it's not the same Miami Dolphins. So basically, so it's going to be, and I can talk about this subject, going on. So I don't want to talk too much about it, but
talk a little bit about it. Yeah, It's not a problem because let's talk about it a little bit because a lot of people didn't believe in Tua Tagovailoa. Matter of fact, a lot of folks weren't starting him in their leagues. They had him as a backup quarterback.
Right.
Is he now your QB1? If he's on your squad, is he your QB1?
It depends on who you're playing.
Okay.
To be honest, we talking
matchups.
you got to play for the matchups. Now, we all know, if you follow football, the Baltimore Ravens pass defense has been a little suspect over the last 10, 15 games. So they're not one of the best defenses out there. And Tua Tagovailoa was able to take advantage of it. And Mike McDaniel basically called the plays to be able to take advantage of it. So I wouldn't say, no, he's your QB1. Not as of yet, and not with the next couple of games that we have. Now, after these first 4 games, we've got Buffalo next week, okay? Buffalo is going to be it's going to be a hard matchup for the Miami Dolphins. However, the Bills are missing some cornerbacks in their secondary.
Yeah.
Okay, so Micah Hyde, I believe, got hurt last night. They don't have Devarius White is out. The guy was in the hospital last week, and they got a couple of rookies. So their secondary is a little banged up at this particular time. That's the last thing. That's the last thing you want to have, having to go up against Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and all that speed that the Miami Dolphins have on offense.
And that's where I was about to get to. You got Waddle, you've got Tyreek Hill. If Tua's not your number one, you got to still have Tyreek and Waddle as your one receivers.
Oh, definitely, because the game is going to come down to whether or not the Miami Dolphins can keep up with Buffalo, or what is the defense going to be able to do against that vaunted Buffalo Bill offense. And the thing is, on the Miami Dolphins defensive side of the ball, they are missing, and this is, with the Baltimore Ravens game, it came down to 3 plays, all right? Everybody's talking about how well the Baltimore Ravens played. The Dolphins played this zero blitz, which surprised the Baltimore Ravens last season when Miami embarrassed them on Thursday night football, beating them 21-10. So the zero blitz defense, Miami surprised them and they were not ready for. So you better believe the Baltimore Ravens have been scheming how to beat that defense ever since that game ended. So they were prepared for the zero blitz. The Miami Dolphins should not have been playing the zero blitz because they do not have their starting or the second starting quarterback, Byron Jones, who is on IR until week 5. So they don't have the ability to play it as well as they possibly can because they don't have Byron Jones. That's why you have those big plays. You had the 75-yard run by Lamar Jackson. You had the big pass where the safety was cheating over to the side to help the other cornerback where Byron Jones would normally be there, but he wasn't because he's hurt. So the safety would have been in the middle as opposed to the left side. That's why that play was able to be executed the way that it was, because we're not at full strength to be able to play that zero blitz defense. You take away those 2 plays and the kickoff return, what did the Ravens offense do?
Hey, well,
you see what I'm saying?
They look all right.
But and I say it that way because everyone is saying that, it was a big plays and the Baltimore Ravens defense. Basically, they had They had blown assignments on the side of the deep. Well, you can say the same thing about the Miami Dolphins defense on that 72-yard pass, or you can say the same thing about the big run.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So basically, but if you look at the game, the Miami Dolphins drove up and down the field on the Ravens, and the Ravens basically they had the drive that they drove down to the goal line and they turned over the ball on 4 downs. And then they had another drive where we stopped them on 4th down on 2 different occasions. So the defense, outside of those big plays, the kickoff return and those 2 big plays, the defense played well, but they're trying to play a scheme that they're not great at because of Byron Jones, and that's why it's going to be a problem against Buffalo on Sunday if they try to play that same scheme.
You got Josh Allen coming to town, and we saw what he did last night against the Titans. Matter of fact, retired one of my players by the end of the 3rd quarter. I had Derrick Henry playing. Retired him because he wasn't doing anything.
What did I tell you about Derrick Henry? What did I tell you about Derrick Henry when you were talking about drafting him?
Hey, man,
what did I say?
It's the second game of the season. I'm not ready to give up on him.
Right.
If you're playing fantasy football and you drafted Derrick Henry, definitely drop us a chat. Tell us what you're going to do. Are you ready to X him out, get somebody else? I mean, because, I've been listening to all of the pundits about it. They're like, might be time to trade Derrick Henry. I'm going to stick with him. He brought me to the dance. I'm going to see if I can let him take me on from the dance. So we're going to definitely look into that. Well, another big story in the NFL, if you're playing fantasy football, if you had Dak Prescott, did you go out and get Cooper Rush? He did all right. He held it down for what he needed to do.
I mean, it just depends on what your quarterback situation is at this time, Like the Titans have a problem. We're just talking about them, not to go backwards, but, the Titans don't have A.J. Brown on the outside to basically keep the defenders out of the box. Now they don't. The Buffalo didn't. They weren't scared of the Titans wide receiver. So that's why they had all those guys in the box, and their main thing was to do what? stop Derrick Henry and force Ryan Tannehill to beat them. Now, if Ryan Tannehill, and he's never really been able to do it.
Can't do it.
The only reason why he's been able to do it is things have to be perfect for Ryan Tannehill, just like they need to be perfect for Tua Tagovailoa to succeed. You have to have great wide receivers. You got to have a great offensive line, and you got to be able to run the ball. Right now, the Tennessee Titans offensive line is so banged up, they don't even have any wide receivers. So now they're going to stop Derrick Henry and force Ryan Tannehill to beat them. That's why it's going to be a problem for Derrick Henry going forward.
We got some folks chiming in again. And we're going to talk about it. Our boy V.A. Rob, Virginia Rob, Steelers still in first place. We're going to talk about, matter of fact, we're going to go to that soon. Keep it locked in, Rob. We're going to talk about that quarterback situation. Then talk about might be a change. We want to figure out, if you're a Steelers fan, let us know. Is it time for a change? Let us know. Shout out to my man, Brian Singleton. He's shouting us out. What up, homie? He the biggest cow. I'm the biggest Cowboy hater this side of Stephen A. You know what? I hold it dear to my heart. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he also says he had him too. So, hey, it is what it is. Look, he said we got to break out the game for next week. But if you're out and about and you're checking us out, drop us a chat. And if you got any questions about who to start or sit them in these next week's games, drop us in the chat, and we're going to talk about that a little later. Speaking of, we got a game coming up on Thursday. We got Pittsburgh playing what? Is it Cleveland? Is that the game?
To be honest with you,
Rob, what is it?
I don't even know.
I think it's Steelers in Cleveland. I think it's going to be.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
I think that's where it is. Man.
I think I saw Jacoby Brissett talking about it earlier today. So that's the Thursday game. We get to the division games this week, but that's why you had the Cowboys and the Giants on Monday night, as Steelers and Browns on Thursday, Dolphins, of course, and the Bills on Sunday night. So a lot of division games are going on this weekend, which will determine a lot.
B.A. Rob said, he a big Pittsburgh head, so
Yeah.
So and speaking of, man, let's talk about something that it seems to be starting to go into that direction. Is it time to put the rooks in now?
Ooh.
Is it time?
Ooh.
Is it time?
I mean, I don't know about. I mean, Pickens was looking really.
No change.
It's Pickens. It's Pickett. I'm sorry.
Pickett.
Pickett is the quarterback and Pickens is the wide receiver. Pickett looked good in the preseason, but I just think that they just want to wait and see if they could just give him a little bit more time. But the Steelers just have so many weapons, Right. So therefore, I mean, if you look at, Chase Poole can definitely play, and then you got Najee Harris, and then the tight end is one of the best, one of the top 5, 7 tight ends, and in the NFL, and then the wide receiving core. So you just really need a quarterback that can get the ball to them. And I don't know what's up with Mitch, but he's just not delivering right now. And they played Cincinnati, so in the first week. So those are two teams that know each other pretty well. You're going up against Belichick week 2, who is able to disguise defenses. So I would say go with Trubisky just a little bit longer against Cleveland. Cleveland's defense hasn't been doing that well. Of course, you've got Myles Garrett coming there putting pressure on the quarterback, but they know each other very well. So if he doesn't do well this week. And I'd have to look at the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule to see going forward who they have. I would stick with him just a little bit longer because you don't want to throw the rook out there too early.
Well, so if you got Trubisky in your squad, most likely he's not your QB1. But do you pick up Trubisky? Do you pick up Pickett now, just in case you have to handcuff yourself?
Well, it depends on what league you're playing in. In our league, if it's a dynasty league, you should have done that already. That should be done.
What about most people are in redraft. So from a redraft standpoint, do you pick them up?
It depends on how many players you can have on your roster. Do you have an IR in that particular league? If you can do that, then you're able to manipulate it. But I may just want to wait, because and it depends on how many teams you're in your league. If you're in the 10-team, 12 league, 10, 12, 14-team league, it all depends because that'll let you know how many players are left on the waiver wire.
What about Tannehill's replacement, Malik Willis? Are we ready to add Malik in?
I would pick him up immediately. You have him, right? You have him, right? Yeah, you drafted him.
Yeah, so I drafted him. I'm holding on to him.
Yeah, based on how Tannehill looked last night, you give it a couple of more weeks. If Titans continue to play the way that they are, they're going to give Malik a shot.
Right.
Because you already know what you have in Tannehill. He was in Miami for 7 years. We know what it is. He lacks pocket presence. He doesn't have a whole lot of touch on his balls. On his ball. He doesn't have a lot of touch on his throws. Pause. Right? He didn't have a lot of touch on his passes. Let's put it that way. And, he's only going to take you but so far. So, and he can beat you with his legs, but he doesn't do it on a consistent basis. So, you put Malik in there and you see what you got.
Right. So you heard it. So if you're holding on to Tannehill, probably not your QB1.
Right. And you need, and with the lack of talent that they have, watch that guy, Kyle Phillips. Even though he fumbled last night, that's a nice little slot guy. And Malik probably has great chemistry with them because they're on the second team together. So Malik can extend plays, which Ryan Tannehill really cannot. He can run, but he doesn't extend plays well. Malik can do that.
Right. All right, my man in the corner, Desmond Ridder, Falcons, Mariota. Oh, my God. I mean,
what is going on, man?
He looks good for a second. He gets us close to where we need to be, and we lose it. I don't know. Is it time for a change yet?
You have to tell me because I have not seen a Falcons game yet.
I've been watching the games.
I have not.
He looks good sometimes. Some of the time he doesn't. Instead of going to Kyle Pitts or Drake London, he went with Edwards at the very end that could have won him the game. Mm-hmm. We could easily be 2-0 versus 0-2.
Well, what is wrong with the chemistry between him and Kyle Pitts? Because Pitts has not been showing up at all. Are they doubling Kyle Pitts? What's the deal?
Kyle Pitts.
Okay.
I'm not mad at it because the defense is going to say, look, you're going to beat me. If you're going to beat me, it won't be with him.
Right. It'll be with Drake.
It's going to be with Drake. And Drake has been showing out.
Right.
So it may open it up. But, there are times where, Mariota looks really good. And then there's some times when he goes right back to being Mariota.
And on that interception against the Rams, he did get hit as he was trying to step up in the pocket, and Ramsey was able to get that interception. But it would have been interesting to see had he not been hit or had that pressure in the front of his face, whether or not he'd been able to deliver the pass.
And 9 times out of 10, Mariota ain't your quarterback one either.
No.
So hold on to Mariota from right now. Yeah. Leave Ridder and Pickett on the free agency.
I mean, it really depends on who your starting quarterbacks are. I have Cousins.
If they're your QB2s,
right?
Do you pick those guys up? Do you think they're going on their way out?
You may, okay. But I just sit back and basically you don't really need to be concerned with that right now.
True.
Because once the bye weeks roll around, then you're really going to need your backup. So that's so basically I don't think the bye start until week 6, week 7. So you're pretty good rolling with what you have.
All right. Well, let's get to another section of the show. We call that the injury report, man. Lord have mercy. Start with this guy right here. One of the baddest boys to do it, Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Ribs, cracked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the thing about it is a couple of my friends, a lot of folks. We're in sports radio and in sports really heavy. They said that the coach should have taken him out of the game, not let him go back in. Even though when he did go back in, he showed out. The question is, when you got a franchise quarterback, should you have taken him out?
Not at that part of the game. You got to let him come back in because the coach, you really don't know the severity of the injury at that particular time. I don't think the coach knew. So, I mean, he got hit and he was hurt, but if he said he can go back in, I mean, who is the charge? Who went back in the game? Who's their backup quarterback?
Was it Case Keenum?
I don't even know, but no, whoever it was, they weren't bringing him back against the Chiefs, but he showed grit. He showed that he's tough. And if it wasn't for the coach not taking out Everett when he was tired, they may have won that game against Kansas City. You know what I mean?
The coach comes off the same tree as Kyle Shanahan, and they made a comment about the fact that when RG3 got hurt in that playoff game, they never took him out.
Right.
And it messed up his career. They said the same thing about Herbert. It's like, dude, he came off the same tree that Kyle Shanahan watch RG3 score 2 touchdowns, go in with the lead, get hurt, and he put him back in the game.
But wasn't there?
But Kirk Cousins at the time?
Yeah, there was some problems internally there because I don't think Shanahan really was behind RG3. His guy was Cousins, so it's almost like he put him out there on purpose, knowing that he could further hurt himself.
Well, he sure did,
and he did, and that's what happened. So that's a different situation. You know, you don't want to put Herbert out there to further injure himself. You know, you want to do that to try to win the game, but it comes down to the coach, maybe in that situation, replacing the tight end that had just caught a pass to get him in that position, who was gassed, who was tired, who could barely come out of his break, and then you're going to turn around and call another play for that particular player? That falls on the coach. And that's the same coach that made some crazy decisions last year.
Yeah. Now, Justin Herbert, definitely most people's QB1.
Right.
You got whatever you found on the waiver wire, go get it. I think a good replacement for it is that man Jimmy G. And the reason why? Because the guy right there.
Yeah, Trey Lance.
You know, everybody was like, well, what do you do with Jimmy G?
Hold on to him.
Hold on to him.
Yep.
Hold on to him. And we see what happened. That was a hell of an insurance policy that came to fruition.
Yeah, I mean, we were wondering whether or not Jimmy was going to get traded. There were some rumors that because of his relationship with Mike McDaniel here, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, that there was some rumors that he might be traded to Miami, but no one was going to take on that contract. And that's when he decided to basically renegotiate the contract because he knew that Trey Lance was in a situation where he may not be ready. And it's so unfortunate because the guy that we see here laying on the grass is someone who they traded 3 number 1 draft choices to get. This is who they traded for. So right now they're in a situation to like, yo, we gave up all this draft capital and now we still have Garoppolo as our quarterback.
Well, and he was still in a lot of people's fantasy leagues, not drafted. He was in free agency. So if you got if you're missing Trey Lance, go pick up Jimmy G. Mm-hmm. If you're missing Justin Herbert, go pick up Jimmy G.
Right. Something I want to add to that. Those 3 number 1 draft choices that they traded to the Miami Dolphins, right? And the Miami Dolphins have turned those picks into Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill.
Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. And the general manager, Chris Greer, is an African American. So let's go ahead and give him a round of applause. We got to give him a round of applause. Yeah. We got to give it up. We got to give it up. Hey, another key player, Gabe Davis. That was rough last night, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
You got a quarterback like, he throws so many touchdowns, I forgot his name.
Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Yeah.
With a quarterback like Josh Allen, who needs Gabe Davis? He'll make it happen regardless.
Well, why you got? Oh, we talking about the injury report. I'm sorry. I'm like, I was like, why you don't have Diggs up there? But yeah, hurt his ankle in practice. Yeah. And I hope he stays on the injury report. I hope he's on there for another week. Yes, I hope he stays there. I don't care. Right now,
y'all don't know, Lorenzo is a huge Dolphins fan.
Yep.
And they're about to go into the belly of the beast with this
guy. Yes. Buffalo's coming down here. So you see that blue they got on right there? That's the blue. The blue that we're gonna. And one of the things that happened, and someone, I can't remember who, said this. There was a stat out there that the Baltimore Ravens secondary ran more yards in coverage than any other secondary in the past 5-10 years trying to keep up with the Miami Dolphins wide receivers. So what that says is that with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle running those streaking patterns, those streaks and those fly patterns straight down the field, it wears out the secondary. So by the time the fourth quarter came around, that's when they were able to get down the field and get behind the secondary. And no one has said that. Everyone's saying, like, how could you let Tyreek Hill? When those guys are gassed and they can't run and they're cramping up, it's going to be a problem. So we're hoping
that's why you run suicides in practice.
Right.
That's why you run suicides in practice.
So with a banged up Buffalo secondary coming down here to South Florida, we're just hoping, got to keep our fingers crossed because Buffalo's a beast. It's the best NFL. It's the best team in the NFL right now. Right. We're hoping by the third and fourth quarter that they are just a tad bit, just because we're accustomed to it.
If you're checking us out, make sure you hit the like button. If you're on Facebook, and you hit the like button on YouTube. If you're checking us out on YouTube, and hit the notification button. So anytime we go live, you'll get the information. You'll get our content. We have a good time. We're talking about fantasy football right here on the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast. Let's talk about one more guy. He's real important to his team.
Yes.
Alvin Kamara. He was out. Now we got value in a couple of players if you're looking at replacing him. Taysom Hill. He's going to get a lot of touches now because Alvin Kamara is not around.
Well, how long is he out? How long is he out?
I think it's a couple of weeks, right? I think it's a couple of weeks.
I'm not sure about that.
Okay, we'll check it out.
I have to check.
The thing about it is we'll pull it up on NFL.com. That's
right.
the easy part.
Right.
He was definitely out this week.
Right.
So, when he's out, in terms of getting value, Taysom Hill definitely get you where you want to go. What do you think?
He can help out a little bit, but are you going to start Taysom over your tight end? Because you're going to put him in, you know what I'm saying? Are you going to put him in that? Well, you might be able to put him in the flex position, and then the tight end you can also, in our league, you can line a tight end in the flex position as well as the tight end position. So if you have both players, you can get away with that. But in another league, are you going to put him in place of the tight end that you drafted in order to acquire because that's the only place you can put him?
It depends on what tight end you got. If you waited late to pick up a tight end, just as good as the 16th tight end. What you think?
I'm not sure. I may try to go to the waiver wire to try to find a running back to replace him if you don't have the handcuff with having Ingram on there. But it's gonna be bad. But you have to play the matchups. Look to see who those see who the Bengals are playing. Who else has been run all over? Look at the defenses that have the worst run defenses and try to get a player that's going to go up against those teams until Kamara can come back.
All right. Now, some other NFL news, man. We get out of the injury report. It was a good fight down there in St. Louis. in New Orleans. At the end of the game. That was a pretty good fight.
And Mike Evans gets suspended. He's the only one.
He does it all the time.
And that's who has problems right now. Looking at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they just signed Cole Beasley to their practice squad, and they're probably going to bring him up, but they won't. Okay. Will Julio Jones be ready? Is Cage going to be ready? Godwin is not ready. Evans is out.
I'm a Julio fan, man, but he was with the Falcons forever. I don't know if he's going to be ready. He's Mr. Glass. But he can give you good. Give you 1-2 good plays.
He probably hurt himself on that bomb he caught when he hit the ground.
Yeah, they said he hurt his knee.
Yeah,
he hit his knee
when he dove for it and hit the ground. I was like, "Ooh, Julio, you can't do that anymore."
Right.
And
with Keenan Allen out, find value in DeAndre Carter at wide receiver. Did all right. That's pretty good. And Marlon Mack got picked up today.
Yes, he got picked up. But also going back to the San Diego situation, I think we were talking about it last week, where you had a big game for Mike Williams, but then you also had Josh Palmer that showed up. I think he caught a touchdown. Right. So I think I mentioned last week that needs to be someone that steps up for the Los Angeles Chargers to fill that void. To fill that void. And that's what is amazing about what Herbert was able to do and what Josh Allen was able to do without Gabe Davis last night in these games. You got to have those players that step up. But that's what the elite quarterbacks do. They make the other players better.
Right. To get back to Tampa and Mike
Evans.
Mike Evans. Rashard Perriman, wasn't he the one that just scored the touchdown in the corner?
Yes, in the corner of the end zone.
He's the one that you got to take a look at this week because there's not going to be Mike Evans. And they play Green Bay. Green Bay comes to town. They're coming to town, down to Tampa.
Yeah, I saw Green Bay a little bit Sunday night. It's going to come
look
down.
all right.
It's going to go. They like they did last year. Their first game last year, they got blown out. Same thing this year. They're playing the Bears, someone that they know. It's going to really come down if Green Bay's front four or front seven are able to get pressure on Brady up the gut. I think it's going to be a long day for Tampa Bay, and they're really going to have to run the ball. Leonard Fournette, like if you have Leonard Fournette, now that's the guy. This is the week. Yes, the next couple of weeks where he's going to get a lot of carries, and he should definitely be scoring quite a few points for you going forward over the next couple of weeks. Yeah.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
Man, we right on time tonight.
No, we don't have any guests this week. No guests.
It looks like you know what? We're gonna beat up on Carl because Carl was supposed to be on here. I walked by the studio today. Hey man, you can be on tonight? Yeah, I'll be there tonight. I said, man, I'm not gonna let everybody know I beat you up bad. So don't worry about it. But I was gonna get him.
Did you beat him bad in our league?
He was beating me, and the linebacker that you dropped that I picked up,
right,
cut him up at the end of the game. So I came out at the very end. I walked him down.
How many points your linebacker score?
Oh, gosh, about 15, 20.
Yeah, because, see, he was expendable for me because I had, at the time when I let him go, I had T.J. Watt, and I had Hendricks from the Minnesota Vikings, and I had Edwards, and I had Milano from Buffalo. So those were my linebackers, and I just had too many. So, I drafted well, but I just had too many. And then when
23, thank you, Lorenzo.
Yeah, 23 points.
23 points.
Oh, you're welcome for that. So, and Edwards scored. What did he get me? He got me about. He was tackling some people. I can't find it right now. Where is it? He scored. Okay. Oh, he got. Oh, this is yours. Yeah, he got you 23 points, and my linebacker probably got me about. What he got me? He got me 16. So. He did good.
I got joked upon by one of the owners in the league after he looked at my my bench and said, "You're losing, and you left 25 on your bench. I mean 36. Hutchinson from Detroit.
Oh, you didn't start him.
I didn't start him because he only gave me 1 point the week before, so I put him on punishment and punished myself.
Wow. Yeah, you surely did, but you still won. You still won.
But I still won. I have to reevaluate my situation. I think I might put him in the starting lineup.
So you went with the other rookie from Jacksonville.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah, Hutchinson.
With the Rooks.
Hutchinson went off.
He went off.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
And you had Flacco on your bench.
Yeah, put Flacco. Yeah.
Yeah, and you were crying when you picked him up, like, oh my God, I gotta do it.
Hold on. I think we got somebody. Carl showed up at the end. Carl.
Check. What up?
What up, man?
What's going on?
Now we got to extend the spot because Carl in. Okay.
What's up, Carl?
What's happening?
That's Lorenzo.
What's going on?
What's happening, man?
It's good, man.
I'm good. Chilling.
Good. Hey, first of all, I gotta give you the proper introduction, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. What we say? Let's see. Emmy Award winning, one of the highest rated sports talk personalities in the country.
Keep going.
On CBSRadio.com and CBS Radio, Mr. Carl Dukes.
Thank you, sir. Very, very happy to be here. It's a pleasure to hang out with y'all. Look at this setup, man. Y'all got it going on.
Hey, man, we do what we do. But usually before we start, we do a little something with each new guest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
First off, we got to put you on the hot seat. You ready for it?
Let's do it.
All right. So what happens is I'm gonna read off two things. You just whatever you like. If I say Coke or Pepsi, whatever it is, you say what you want to say.
Okay.
Because we want to get a feel of who you are. Let's try this right now.
Feel the burn. You're in the hot seat inside the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast.
Are you
Okay.
ready, Carl Dukes?
Let's go.
Butter or margarine?
Butter.
Texas Pete or Frank's hot sauce?
Come on now. Texas Pete.
All right, Dion or Ronnie Lott?
Not even close. Prime time. Prime time.
Montana or Elway?
Montana.
Jordan or LeBron?
Damn.
LeBron.
Damn. 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 Damn.
Oh, man. Oh, Brandy or Monica?
Brandy.
Okay. All right. You officially off the hot seat.
Yeah.
So, Carl, Lorenzo, are you his official sideline reporter for the Dolphins?
I'm not actually doing it this year.
Not doing it this year?
It's NFL cut down on the amount of people they were allowing on the sidelines, and my go-to person, who is a vice president of communications for the Miami Dolphins, passed away.
Right.
So that was like my go-to guy. Like, yo, if the NFL said something, I'd go to him like, hey, they're giving me some problems, and he would handle it. And he's no longer with us. So now I'm in the stands. I'm in the stands this year, but it's all good. I'm happy. I'm happy to be sitting in my seat. So.
Good. Yeah,
But-
Carl, one of the things we usually do when we first bring somebody on, especially since they're in the league with us, we go on and check out what they did in the draft. So we're gonna take a look at what you did your first pick in the draft. We're gonna screen share this thing. Your first pick was this dude here. It was.
Get it right.
I'm trying to. Burrow. Are you still happy with that pick?
Ooh.
Yeah, man. You know what happened? I think not playing in the preseason, having the surgery that he had, he's rusty. Right. I think you're seeing that with Brady. They're 2-0, but Brady hasn't looked brilliant. And so not playing in the preseason, Brady took 11 days off. Burrow had some time off because of what was going on with him. I think he's going to be fine. But I will tell you, to throw 4 picks in the first week, he had me second guessing.
Yeah, he should have.
Yeah, but I have to say, man, it all comes down with both of those quarterbacks you just mentioned, their offensive line. Their offensive line has been terrible, especially for Cincinnati. They've given her like 13 sacks in the first 2 games. So
7 and 6. Here's the deal with that too. It's a redone offensive line. They went and spent money on arguably 2 of the best offensive linemen available in free agency. Right. It's supposed to be a retooled offensive line, and they are not getting the job done. So you're right.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm still happy with Burrow.
Yeah, but they have gone up against 2 of the best pass rushers in the NFL when in game 1, Cincinnati went up against T.J. Watt, and then in game 2, Micah Parsons. So we'll see how Cincinnati does. Maybe it'll get better or easier for the offensive line as they move on.
Here's what's crazy, though, guys. Burrow got sacked more than anybody else last year, and they still went to the Super Bowl.
True.
True. Now, I'm not going to tell you that's going to happen again,
right,
but you can overcome the offensive line woes.
Okay. Good stuff. Okay, Nick Chubb was your second pick. Not a bad pick.
Sir.
He killed it this week. A. Brown. You know what? Of course he's going to be a good pick. How disappointed were you in it last night? Watching him not get the touches he needed.
I keep hearing about this connection that he and Jalen Hurts have and how they're boys and they hung out and he almost came to Alabama and, I'm hearing all this stuff. I'm not seeing it on the field, though. I got to see some more connections on the field. I'm hearing about all this off the field stuff, but listen, they'll get it going. I think Jalen is still trying to establish who he trusts the most.
Right.
And he hasn't quite figured that out yet. Obviously, he's got Devontae out there, Goddard. He's got some weapons, but once they get on the same page, he'll be fine.
And Dylan, that wasn't a bad pick at all for your team. And one of the picks, your next pick, and we'll be done with it. Drake London. I've been telling folks this boy is the real deal. I've been telling folks that guy is the real deal. So how'd you like him? How'd you like that pick?
So here's the background on the Drake London pick for me. I knew the coaching staff at USC that got fired. Lincoln Riley obviously came in, but the previous coaching staff, I had a couple of buddies on the staff. And they told me everything I needed to know about Drake London draft night. When we drafted him, and I was calling and saying, all right, what did we get? And they were saying, listen, great kid, great family. All of this stuff now, I think most people, are aware of because they've done enough stories on it. But the fact is, I wasn't interested in that. I said, what kind of player is he? And they were like, he's a guy that does everything you ask and more, and he wants to be the best. So when I saw his practice happen with the Falcons early on with the camp that we got a chance to witness, you know, they're not showing you a lot, but you see certain traits, and you practice like you play. I got to tell you guys, these Marcus Mariota throws we're seeing in the games, I saw those at camp. These catches you're seeing with Drake London, I saw that at camp. So I think he's going to be an excellent receiver long term. In the short term, it's just about how often he's going to be involved in this offense. But yeah, he's off to a great start.
Good stuff. Now, one of the things that we talked about earlier, I do want to get your input on this. Is it time to bring in the rookies that were drafted for big positions, rookie quarterbacks? Talking about Desmond Pickett, Malik Willis. Is it time to give these guys a look? Because we saw what happened last night on Monday Night Football when Tannehill couldn't produce. We saw that the boo birds are coming out in Pittsburgh right now because they want Kenny Pickett. And right now, and you know, in Atlanta, you know how we are, you know, they're just itching to get that boy in.
Yeah, I mean, the Pickett situation, and I love Mike T. I mean, Mike Tomlin's one of my favorite coaches, period. Right. Like, what you see is what you get. If you've had a chance to even ever meet him or be around him, right. There's a reason why he's had the success he's had in Pittsburgh. And, yeah, he had Big Ben. It helps. Right. I thought Pickett outplayed Mitchell Trubisky in the preseason. Okay? If you're really going to say it's a competition. But I also understand that they went out and got a veteran guy, and they're not willing to throw, just like with Desmond Ridder with the Falcons, they're not willing to throw him in and get him in the fire quite yet. These guys are going to get their opportunity. And you know, you talk about Malik Willis. The Titans are not sold and haven't been sold on Ryan Tannehill after last year's playoff failure.
Right.
They realize financially they're committed. They have to stay the course, but they're ready to move on. You don't draft a quarterback in the third round like they did when you've got a guy that's taken to the playoffs a few years. But it's sort of like what the Rams did with Goff, and you saw how they brought in Stafford. I feel like the Titans, if they can make that kind of move, they would, because they still feel like they're in Super Bowl mode with Derrick Henry and what they have. But then they traded A.J. Brown, and it's also like they took another step back. My point is, all three of those guys you talked about are going to seize time this season. The question is when. Not in week 2, and I certainly don't think in week 3. But these teams have to say, hey, we gave you an opportunity. We are now in week 6 or 7. It's time to see what else we got.
Right. All right, Carl, how many leagues are you in fantasy football?
I only play in 2, man. I used to play in like 5, and it's just overwhelming, you know?
Okay.
I remember, and I'm dating myself here, but like back in the day when I first started playing fantasy football, we used to do a draft, and you know, we'd be at a place for 5 hours on a board, and somebody was writing the names down, and it was crazy. Now it's so easy with the technology. You can find yourself in a bunch of leagues, but to be fair to the people that I play with and to myself, it's too much time. It's too time consuming. So when I talk to guys, they're like, "Yeah, I'm in eight leagues." I'm like, "You have no life." Because there's no way you can be in 8 leagues and pay attention to everything that's going on and all the transactions. Put your lineups in. It's just not fair, man. So I'm only in 2 leagues.
Okay, good stuff. Well, we're glad you're in this league, and you know, you're in a hole right now, but I'm sure you'll dig yourself out.
I am. I'm coming, baby. I told you that.
Is he 0-2? He's 0-2?
Yeah, he 0-2.
No, I didn't lose to you last night, did I?
Yeah, you did. You caught an L.
Oh, my goodness.
No way, I didn't take an L. I was winning that game.
Yeah. Keyword was past tense.
I was winning that game. Hold on, let me check.
Maybe he's in one too many leagues. He didn't know that he lost.
Leagues, he lost 163 to 156.
Hold on, let me see for myself. I got this info in front of me.
Okay.
Oh, hell no.
Reloaded. You know where you lost.
Oh, so he lost to both of us. He lost to me week 1. He lost to you in week 2.
Yeah,
That's why we invited him on the show.
Burrow killed me this week.
Yeah.
Burrow killed me again.
Yeah, well,
but it's all good. He's gonna get better. He's gonna be fine. We're gonna be all right. I trust in my team. We're gonna be all right.
All right. Well, I had Justin Herbert as my quarterback. I'm praying, hoping and praying he comes back. So.
I heard he's hurt for the rest of the year.
I swear.
It doesn't bother you that you had Tua on the bench?
Oh, he had 60 points.
He's been my backup, right? And I only picked Tua only because I'm confident in the personnel they have. My concern was Mike McDaniel and how fast he's gonna pick this up.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's just one of those fluke weeks. He won't have 6 touchdowns again this season.
That was kind of hard to do for most people. The last person did it was it Dan Marino?
Well, for Miami, Bob Greasy did it and Dan Marino did it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
6 touchdowns.
So I don't see. But listen, he's playing well, man. I mean, I might have to if Burrow keeps climbing around, I might have to, go to the bench.
Well, just wait until after week 4. The schedule gets much easier for Miami. Yeah, if we can come out of these 4 games, we don't know what's gonna happen against Buffalo, but if we can finish, we play Cincinnati after Buffalo on Thursday night in Cincinnati. So if we can come out of this at least 3-1, the schedule gets so much easier after that. So, so therefore that's why you should hold on to Tua and watch Burrow. Then you're gonna have a tough season, tough decision on Thursday night because they're playing each other.
Yeah. Well, it all depends on who's playing well at that point. I mean, if I'm still looking at a touchdown and a pick for Burrow, and I'm looking at 3 touches and 400 yards for Tua, it's an easy decision.
Yeah. Tua looks like he. Look, six touchdowns is a lot. That doesn't happen very often.
No.
But can I get 2 every game or 2 or 3 every game? Yeah, I can do that with him.
He's got so many weapons. Just get the ball to those guys, man. You can throw an out route to the cheetah.
Right.
And he's gonna take
and he's gone.
Jalen Waddle's got that kind of speed. You don't have to do a whole lot.
And this is just week 2 in this offense.
Right.
That's what's incredible that they were able to do that, and they've just been playing together for 2 games. So what is it going to be like once they get the playbook down and have a full understanding of what's going on, and he starts calling audibles at the line of scrimmage? I don't even know if I've ever seen Tua call an audible. I don't know if I've seen it. So
that's a great point.
Yeah.
Well, it's we ran way over tonight because we make sure we had to give Carl his time. Usually we have from 8 to 8:30.
I don't want to keep y'all too late, but I appreciate the invite. Ice-T, Eric, it's always good to talk with y'all, man, and it's fun.
Let's make a trade. Come on, man. No one has made a trade in our league yet.
Oh, no. I have put 2 trades out. I've been turned down both times. One with Scotty. I tried to get Travis Etienne. Pretty sure he would love to go back and get that. And I was with Sean Thompson, our OPD, Phoenix Rising. I've been trying to trade with him for the last 2 days. Are
people just scared to trade? They feel as if
he I guess he thought I was asking for way too much. I know he has no quarterbacks. He lost Trey Lance.
Oh my goodness.
He lost what's the New York quarterback?
Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
So he has no quarterbacks now. I was like, look, I got Flacco. Can I get Christian Kirk? Okay. He was like, no, that's my. I was like, dude, it's on your bench. He was like, well, he won't be on my bench long. So he got Deontay Johnson. He said, well, I'm not sure about your biscuit. I'll take Deontay then.
For Flacco?
For Flacco.
Come on, man. That's not an even trade. He
has no quarterback.
Come on, it's not an even, but it's still not an even trade. You got to give up more.
You out here trying to rob people.
Come on, man. In 2 weeks, Flacco, you got to offer him something else. That's not an even trade, man. For Christian Kirk, come on, man.
Hey, is he gonna go into the next week without a quarterback?
Is there someone?
In other words-
Is there someone on
in
the
other words,
waiver
you're
wire?
pressuring that man, and you're trying to steal a player from him.
It's still not an even. It's still not an even trade. E.
All right.
It's not an even. And you're the commissioner. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm the commissioner, but when I'm playing,
Yeah,
I'm
no, but
chosen
still,
one.
you got to offer some equal value. Flacco's not going to be playing in about 2 weeks.
That's because he's got the New York quarterback. He'll switch him right back out.
Yeah, but you got to throw something else in there, man. That's not enough. No wonder no one is dealing with you. What did you offer, Scotty? And then of course, go ahead.
I'm trying to figure out what did I offer Scotty for Travis.
He offered him 2 beans and some rice. For
You know?
ETN. I know what you offered.
Hey, look, I got quarterbacks on my bench. I was like, look, hey, what you need? All right, well,
Oh, man.
I'm pretty sure Sean is watching because Sean watches the show. And he'll probably come back and hit me up and say,
Don't
see,
do it, Sean.
that's why I ain't do it, because it wasn't fair.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Hey, I got Jacoby Brissett. You need a quarterback.
worse.
He
It's getting worse.
he needs a quarterback that's. But I'm not trying to rape him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it'd be equal. I might throw in another running back or something. But we know Jacoby's gonna be playing at least until week 12.
I gave
You know what I'm saying?
I gave him a Band-Aid for his problem and my 3rd-round draft pick for next year.
Oh, you didn't say that.
So now you're giving futures away, too, huh?
But
Hey, man,
you didn't say that.
Call me Jerry Jones. Call me Jerry Jones. It's dynasty.
All right, man. I'm going to get out of here.
Hey,
Appreciate
before you
y'all.
leave, let everybody know your handles, Mr. Dukes.
On
If they want to follow
social?
you on social media.
Yeah, man. Just put them up. Put them up on across all social media platforms, and then put them up C Dukes on Twitter. Find me. Put them up TikTok, Insta, everywhere else, man. So check me out.
But Dukes,
Lorenzo, how can they find you?
Dukes, what's that behind you on the wall? Are those like
Where at?
baseball cards or football cards on the wall there? What's that on the wall behind you?
Oh man, this is the Masters champions for 50 years. So Tiger's on here 5 times.
Okay. Oh, you said Master Champions. Okay, gotcha.
It's the Masters.
Okay.
Man, I love golf.
Okay.
So yeah, that was the 50th year of the Masters, and it's every winner on 18
Mm-hmm.
with their winning pose, how they won.
Wow.
Feeling his crazy ass running
Okay.
around with his arms up in the air.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but that's what that is, man.
Impressive, man. Impressive. People are looking at this and like wondering what it is. It looks like little baseball or football cards. Yeah.
Baseball stuff's over here. Y'all can't see it, but I covered baseball for over a decade, man, and was fortunate enough to get a lot of guys that I got great relationships with. So I got my sacred balls, and some of them locked up. And but if I was to show you around the room, I got my Tony Gwynn bat. I love Tony. Tony was great to me.
Right.
I got a couple of all-star bats and covering all-star games where guys all signed the bats.
Wow.
Every member of the all-star team on both sides. And I've got one Henry Aaron bat in here.
Uh-huh.
I got some baseball stuff, man.
Hey, E, I guess.
Emmy Award winning.
Yeah, and you say that again, E?
Emmy Award winning Carl Dukes.
Yeah, it's got to give him a big round of applause for that. Let's give it up for him. Let's give it up.
But I do have to say, I was the project that I was on was up for Emmy 2 at the same time. Carl won, I didn't.
Oh, wow.
Oh, listen, yeah, but your show was a lot better. Let me tell you.
Wow.
That show you was on, I
Here
was
come the
like,
judge.
yeah, it was good, man.
Mm-hmm.
It
I
was
appreciate
good.
it. I appreciate
It was
it.
really good. Yeah, great cast, brother.
Yeah. Lo, how can
All
I
right,
follow
then.
you?
Hey, they can follow me first and foremost on Star 94.5, Orlando's only R&B. That's 94.5 in Orlando. You can also follow me on Hot 105 Saturday nights from 6 to 10. Also, my Twitter is Lorenzo Thomas. Facebook at Lorenzo Thomas as well. And my IG is Lorenzo Ice T.
You can catch me right on
Damn,
Twitter.
I kind of want to do mine over.
Nah, not after all those accolades. Hey, he sounded like us if we were talking about, all of our plaques or something like that. I got this autographed plaque by Jay-Z.
Biggie and Tupac.
You got Biggie and Tupac. I got LL Cool J right here. It's autographed. Look at this one with Jill Scott. Oh,
Good stuff. And they can follow me at the Dirty South FFL. We'll see you.
Peace.
Yeah, Dukes.
Hey, we got a drop to take us out, E?
I got to get one. I got to get a drop. Hey, this is what it sounds like when we come on, Carl.
Welcome to the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast with your host, Eric Lee and Lorenzo Ice-T.
Yeah, that's how we come on.
Okay, that's tight.
Questions about your lineup? It's time to start them or sit them on the Dirty South Fantasy Football Podcast.
Who is
I
that?
love it, man.
Who is that, E?
The professionalism to it.
Yeah, that was Dion.
Real.
You remember Dion used to work at the radio station, Carl?
Yeah,
Dark skin.
That's
kinda
him?
heavyset. Yeah, he does all the drops for me.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
That boy good.
Yeah, he sounds good. He's good. That boy
That's legit. It sounds great, brother. For
Yeah,
real.
he sounds good. He just surprised me with it. I'd heard it for the
I
first
tell him, I
time.
just dropped it.
Yeah. So, all I got to say is,
That boy is good. That boy is good. That boy is good.
Carl.
Oh man, don't do this to me. You know I love them damn
I
boxes,
know.
bro.
This is my third
No.
one. You know how I am.
You know I love
Yeah, I
them.
know you love them.